Risk management is an important part of the planning process for all projects. The process of risk management is designed to reduce or eliminate the risk of certain kinds of events happening or having an impact on the business if they do happen. Risk management is the process for identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks of different kinds. Once the risks are identified, the risk manager will create a plan to minimize or eliminate the impact of the negative events. A variety of strategies is available depending on the type of risk and the type of business. This assumes that all risk is negative, not necessarily. Risk sometimes can be positive. If it's negative, however, we need to look at avoiding that risk. And actually, avoiding it doesn't eliminate it, it just shifts the cost. It shifts it to a third party in terms of subcontracting it out. You may want to insure against it. You may want a contract, like a cost plus contract with a warranty or performance bond. You may want to change the methodology so that you totally avoid that kind of process at all. So risk management itself is part of the planning process. Let's go to the risk management form. This is the risk management form, and what we want to do is make sure that we plan for those risks by not only looking at the cost of them, but also looking at the probability of them. So in this particular case, we've got the risk management assessment plan, and notice that word quantitative ahead of time. In other words, the title of it is quantitative because we need numbers here. We're going to actually put numbers to the different things, and there's our project serial number on the right-hand side. Notice that we've got the task possibly at risk. We look at the WBS and we say, is this task got a risk associated with it? If it does, then we want to put it in our log. If it doesn't, then we go by. Now, this is a reasonable risk. So in our particular example here, we've got the legacy servers incompatibility with the standard image load. In other words, we're taking over some servers. We're incorporating them into our business, and the project is to bring them in seamlessly into the process. So we list that as a possibility that the images won't match. Our damages in that case are going to be about $20,000 in diagnosing the problem and then re-imaging the servers. Probability of that happening is about 50-50 because we haven't gotten an in-depth analysis, but we feel that it's pretty likely. It could go either way. Cost of the risk is going to be the $20,000 times the probability of 50%. Or 0.5. So at that point, we've got a $10,000 cost of risk. We need to write that into our budget. That's the cost of the risk should it happen. Even though it looks like that's the big benefit that we're going to get to write something into our budget that we hadn't planned on, in actuality, the next two columns are a big deal. What happens if plan A actually occurs? Well, we can maintain two images. Now, unfortunately, all we do then is delay the cost. It's going to be a $25,000 a year annual cost, and the idea there is that you're going to have a perpetual dual image situation. Plan C would be to replace all servers. Added cost would be $85,000. Added time would be 60 days, but the big benefit of there is that the problem goes away forever. It doesn't recur. So needless to say, plan A is the cheapest. Plan B would be a short-term fix, and plan C would be the long-term fix. Now, the last thing we have over here that we need to take a look at is the last column, and that's actually who is responsible. Notice that we actually assign responsibility for that risk assessment and for the presentation of the materials necessary to actually do plan A, B, and C. So somebody's going to be responsible for developing all three of those plans and being ready to switch should the probability of this actually happen.